I want your team out here, and I want to get one of those audits. I want to talk to you. I want to hear more about this thing. I want to hear more in depth about this thing. And hey, if that's you, send a message and we'll get on a call right away, right? My name is Jose Moreno. On this podcast, we discuss current and future trends in the electrical industry. Welcome to the life of an electrical contractor. Welcome to the life of an electrical contractor. On this podcast, as always, we're going to discuss current and future trends in the electrical industry. Welcome to the life of an electrical contractor. All right. So today I want to dive actually a little deeper into a subject that to me it's a no-brainer. I mean, this thing, I'm just going to put it out there. Ready? Who wants to make money? Right? Who actually wants to generate money from something they already have? See, I mean, if you go online or you look at this or you look at that, everything has a catch, right? Everything has a way. Like I want to make more money, right? I want to take what I have and make more of it, right? So I'm here to show you how you can literally take that thing you already have, and it creates money for you. Now you're gonna ask me, well, what is it, Jose? Right? Because again, I'm not the only one that knows this. This is not this is not a secret. This is not some fancy thing that I have in my back pocket. No, this is something that's everybody uses it. And again, I'm speaking to very specific markets here. Okay, if you're a building owner, if you're a facilities manager, and heck, if you work anywhere and you can see this thing, you should bring it up to somebody who's in charge and ask them, do we want to make more money off of this? And yes, what I'm talking about is lighting. Lighting. Now you're going to say, how am I going to make money off of lighting, Jose? So just follow along with me, and I'm going to walk you through how you can make money off your lighting. All right. So most people, most businesses, most warehouses, again, this is what I'm speaking in regarding to. I'm speaking to people who own warehouses or own or have real estate or developments of some sort or manufacturing plants or even offices. I know offices right now, people are working from home. It may not be the best investment, yet know that most likely people are going to come back. I mean, people are going to want to get together again. That's a whole nother topic that I'm not going to discuss in right now. But let's talk about how to make money, right? How can we get the lighting that we currently have to make us money? And that's where I'm going to tell you, the lighting that you currently have will not make you money. The lighting you currently have is costing you money. It's costing you a lot more money than you can even think of. Okay. So I'm going to show you a couple of the systems that you might have in your facility. Okay. So if you have a building, both indoor or outdoor lighting, this stuff is running. Okay. This stuff is on, right? And at the same time, I wanted to show you something, or I wanted to share with you a little something that sometimes because the light is not on doesn't mean you're not paying for it. Okay. So remember, at the end of the month, you get a bill from your utility company for what? For power usage, right? And a large percentage of that is probably lighting, right? So follow along, because I told you, the premise of this thing is how to make money from lighting, right? So follow along. So, all right. So you're going to ask me, how do I make money from this thing? So here's where it starts to get interesting. I'm going to tell you what you probably have right now, so you can at least walk through, because I'd like for you to be somewhat educated on it or have somewhat of an idea, so this thing actually makes sense to you. I don't want you to just go on this thing on a blind, or I want you to do some research on it, and I want you to take some of the info I give you, and hopefully that gives you a leg up, right? It gives you some somewhere to start searching for, right? So, all right. So I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna discuss fluorescent lighting. That's the typical lighting that most of the facilities have. Okay. I'm gonna read a little bit here because it's what pretty much. I'm going to read the definition of fluorescent lighting, right? So again, most of this fixture is going to be installed in a commercial and industrial application of some sort, right? So fluorescence, it was first invented in 1901 Honestly, I didn't even know that. I thought it was something that came out in the 30s, maybe even 40s. 1901. You're talking about 120 years ago. That's pretty crazy, actually, you know? The technology that we were actually playing with back, 120 years ago it's pretty amazing, right? So anyway, a fluorescent lamp or fluorescent tube is a low pressure mercury vapor gas discharge that uses fluorescence to produce visible light. An electric current in the gas excites the mercury vapor, which produces short waves of ultraviolet lights that then cause a phosphor coating on the inside of that tube, causing the lamp to glow. So a fluorescent lamp converts electrical energy into useful light much more efficiently than an incandescent lamp. That's pretty much the definition if you were to go look on Google and just find out a little bit more about it, right? So now you're like, well, thank you for telling me about a fluorescent light, but how does this generate with money, right? So again, I told you, you're gonna have to follow along here because we're gonna have to walk through this thing before I can show you how you're gonna make money off of it, right? So you see, that definition in itself has so many important things for you. Okay. The next thing, okay, the next technology or the next type of lamp that I want to bring up that most likely you are using in your facility is it's called high intensity discharge lighting, or short HID. Now, before I give you the explanation of what that is, you're probably asking me, well, what is an HID? So most likely if you go into your warehouse floor and when you turn on the lights in the morning and the lights go like, tick, 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 and it takes about 5 to 10 minutes for the lights to kick on, that's HID lighting. So now I'm going to give you the definition of HID, which while I was building this thing, while I was creating this, this topic to discuss, I found it extremely interesting that when this type of technology was invented. So ready? This technology was invented in 1901. It's the same exact technology as the fluorescent lamp, right? So again, the short definition for HID is high intensity discharge lamps are a type of electrical gas discharge that produces light by means of an electric arc between tungsten electrodes housed inside a translucent or a transparent fused quartz or fused alumina arc tube. If you ever see an HID bulb and you look inside of it, it has like a little mini tube, almost like if that's the guy who runs the whole show. Well, that's what that is. That's where all the mercury is, and that's where the arc is at, and the mercury shoots through there and and creates a little arc, and that's how eventually it lights up and discharges the lamp, right? So again, this tube is filled with noble gas and often also contains suitable metal or metal salts. The noble gas enables the arc's initial strike. Once the arc is started, it heats and evaporates the metallic admixture. That's why it takes like 5 minutes for that lamp to warm up to its full brightness. So if you've ever had somebody servicing a light fixture or somebody inadvertently shut a light off in your facility, that's why that light took so long to come back on. Okay. And also it's not one of those lights where you can turn on and off. You can't turn it on and off. Put it like this. You turn it on and off. It has something inside this thing called a ballast that doesn't allow it to do that, because it doesn't want to burn the bulb out. Because imagine if it's an arc and it starts arcing on and off a couple times, the bulb might blow up. So by you shutting the breaker off or by you shutting the switch off a couple times, you actually you created a cycle in it, and now it's going to need to cool down completely before it can even turn back on. So I just gave you a pretty, I guess, deep explanation of HID lighting and everything I've normally seen around them, right? Now, where do you find these lights? Again, I told you find them in warehouses, you find them in parking lots, you find them on site lighting, right? On the sides of your building. You don't typically find this in the office space, okay? But you 100% are going to see these in in a warehouse floor, manufacturing floor, parking lots, 100%. Again, this is a technology that's there. And honestly, I didn't even realize it was 120 years old as well, right? So now I've shared with you fluorescent and HID, and I was very brief. Obviously, I could have probably spoken about hours on either technology. I'm not here to, I didn't want to bore you on this thing. And to tell the truth, I really didn't want to get bored on it myself, right? Because at the end of the day, it's old technology. And I'm here to show you how you can make money with your lighting, right? So now that I've kind of put these things together, I wanted to give you some of the actual fixtures that you're going to be, the actual lamps you probably have in your building, right? So if you have fluorescents, you probably have something called T12 type lamp, a T8 type lamp, or T5, right? If you have HID, you have most likely about 3 different colors, or 3 different types. There's what's called a high pressure sodium. It's a very orangey light. A lot of people have this. Metal halide, which is a very white light. And then there's something called mercury vapor, which is, again, it's a type of white light. It's an older technology. Metal halide kind of took over it after a while. And actually, there is one more that's not even in the market anymore. They only have it in case your fixture is extremely old. But it's called low pressure sodium. That thing, I've only seen it like twice in my whole career, but it's out there. It's definitely out there. So now that I've given you some of the types of lamps surrounding the fluorescent world, and then the HID world, and again, I'm not even getting into CFLs, because CFLs to me are probably more used inside of an office space. And while yes, you can make money off of that right now, I think due to the current circumstances that we're at, a lot of people are not back at their offices yet, right? A lot of people, who knows, some businesses are thinking that not to bring people back to their offices. I think that we're eventually gonna get back to the offices, but that's why this whole show is not going to be directed towards the office setup. It's more set up towards your manufacturing plan, your warehouse, your open warehouse, your parking lots, and obviously your site lighting of some sorts, right? So the one thing that these things have is that they come in different colors, right? Like lighting colors, and of course wattage, right? It's going to vary depending on your application, right? The other thing that they need to function, because they can't function without this, it's called a ballast. So a lot of people don't realize that there's a ballast. So you're asking me what a ballast is. And you know what? I didn't really get the definition of a ballast, because I figured I was just going to explain to you something that, look, inside the light fixture, a ballast comes in. There's like a little transformer. Your power goes into it. It takes that power, transforms it to the electric voltage that the lamp requires for it to turn on, right? Because obviously when I read you the definitions of each lamp, it showed you that, one is creating an arc, and it's taking mercury and getting it to this level. So I'm sure it's using probably using a very high voltage to try to get it to that, to create that I guess chemical reaction of some sorts, right? All right. So now that I've spoken to you about this ballast thing. And the reason I wanted you to know about this ballast is most people, most clients, they don't realize that they have a ballast as well. They just say, "Hey, my lamp is out, fix it." And then sometimes it's like, "Hey, it's not the lamp, it's the ballast." And then the costs go up. The job gets a little bit more complicated at times. Sometimes procuring that ballast, because it's such an old fixture, it's almost impossible at times. It means that we have to put something new, right? Which brings me again to the premise of this show, which is, how can your lighting make you money, right? All right. So now that I've taken a walk down memory lane, right, and shared with you all these old fixtures and all this old technology, and even some of my examples that I've faced around them, right? Here's the gist of it. I want to show you how to make money with what you already are using, right? So follow me. You either have fluorescent lighting or HID lighting, right? They have a lifespan, like everything, right? So in our research, we found that on a fluorescent lamp has about 12,000 hours or so. And that's on the new lamps. That's what's out there now, not what came out 10 years ago, not what came out 6 years ago, or maybe even 20 years ago, for in case you have your, some very old fixtures in your facility. But again, that's 12,000 hours on the lamp, right? And remember, that's just one part. The other part is the ballast. So what we found is a lot of the ballast, and again, I'm saying brand new ballast. These are the things that are coming out on the market right now, because there is still, obviously, there's still a ton of fluorescent and HID users out there. So the manufacturers are still pumping out the lamps, obviously trying to make them as best as possible, and ballast as well. They're using whatever new technologies are out there to try to make them a little better, right? But again, these are new ballasts, are about 40,000 hours, right? So what does this mean? 12,000 hours, 40,000 hours. That sounds like a long time to me, right? It is. It is a long time. It depends on how you use it, right? So on average, our typical client, right, is replacing lamps about every 2.5 years, okay? And ballast every 5 years. This calculation is based around a business that operates 52 weeks a year, 5 days a week, and between 10 to 12 hours a day that they have their lights on, right? Obviously, this is going to vary. We work with clients that actually are not open all weeks, right? 52 weeks out of the year. They're only open, they have it as a storage facility of some sort. So obviously that building is not going to be active all the time, right? At the same time, we have facilities that we service that they're 365-day facilities. These facilities were open even through COVID. They were open the whole time. So just to give you an example, it's such a wide array of things that really you can't put a one is for all. No, this is a very wide calculation, and I want you to take it as that because it could be completely different for you, right? So again, this will completely vary depending on the use at your facility. And then remember the one thing that I didn't even bring up here, parking lot lighting and site lighting that's on the outside of the building. This stuff goes on as well, right? So if you're in the East Coast, around November, it gets dark around 4, right? So that means what? Your lights needs to kick on. So around 4 o'clock, lights kick on. When does the sun come back out? Sometime around 5:30, right? 5:30 in the morning. You make the calc. So your site lighting, while it may not be a lot, it too is running a certain amount of hours, for a certain amount of, well, actually for every single day out of the year, right? So there is money being used there as well. All right. To me, I think that's another part that people forget. Parking lot lighting. You have light poles out there, and you need to have that on, right? For security reasons. Most people say, "Oh no, shut that thing off at 2 a.m." Fine. You know what happens at 2:30? Your cars get stolen. So there you go. Things got to stay on all day long, right? So again, the next part was, now that I've kind of shown you a little bit of the different lightings and how the calculations that I kind of threw out there for you to gather your own information and how your own facility works, right? I didn't even bring into the equation the cost of getting an electrician to change lamps, which honestly we don't. In our company, we prefer not to go to a facility to change lamps. You guys have mechanics, or I should say, you guys have maintenance people that can do that. Right. And if you're a smaller size facility, you probably have a property manager that can change lamps. Right. This is on the stuff that you can reach. Right. Of course, every now and then we have facilities that the lamps are, 25, 30 feet, even 40 feet in the air. And I get it. Maybe you're the guy that works in your company that does those little things, doesn't want to get up on a lift that's too high for him, blah, 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 blah. So on those things we do service, obviously, but on your typical lamp, I don't know, it's kind of silly to pay an electrician's rate to come and change some lamps, right? But that's just my take. And that's just because I speak to so many property managers and so many facility directors that really, I'm not there. I don't want to take their money. I want to take their opportunity and make them money while we are also making money at the same time, right? We're delivering a service to them, but it's ultimately what we are delivering is beyond what they were looking for, right? So changing a lamp to me is sometimes is trivial, right? But that's on changing lamps. Changing ballast, again, you need an electrician to do that. Maybe your local guy that you have can handle it. Maybe not. Put it like this. You don't want to end up having trouble with a ballast at 40 feet in the air. It gets pretty rough up there. So, and the nerves kick in pretty quickly. You don't want anything falling from up there, and God forbid, you don't want anybody getting hurt. So sometimes it's best to just hire the right person for the job, right? So another thing is, these type of lamps I mentioned, fluorescent and HID lamps, they go out every now and then, right? So just because a lamp goes out and you don't physically see it. So let's just say you're walking around your facility and you have one lamp out, two lamps out, and then the other three are on, right? You're like, oh, all right, it's all right. I still have light. I have those three. These two are out. Doesn't really matter, right? Well, remember, I'm talking about money. I'm going to show you how you're going to make money off of this stuff. So I need you to see how you're actually spending your money now, right? So those two lights that are out, they are still consuming electric. Just because they're not emitting light doesn't mean you're not actually paying for that fixture. See, that fixture, remember I told you, has a ballast, and that ballast doesn't care if the lamp is emitting lighting. It just knows that you have the power onto it, and it's going to take that power, transform it to whatever it has to, and send it on its way. As far as the lamp receiving it and emitting light, that's somebody else's problem. That's not the ballast's problem. So just take that into consideration, because I walk into many buildings and when we're doing new audits for new clients, and I'm amazed at how dark it is in some of these spots. And I'm like, well, why do you have that like that? And it's like, nobody wanted to change it. We figured we'd just save some money. The lights are off. Nobody goes back there. And I'm honestly, I don't even know what to tell them. If I tell them, you're still using money, they might not feel so good. And if I don't tell them, it's like, well, man, you're literally burning money up by having those lights off. And I tell you, if it's you and it's in your facility, listen, you're not the only one. I see it all the time. But it's time, man. It's time to upgrade that stuff. It's time to see how you can make money from this, right? All right. So now that I've kind of shared that whole thing with you, I want to show you now how you can make money, right? So you've heard of LED lighting. Who hasn't heard of LED lighting? It's 2021, right? So an LED is a light emitting diode. Okay. I've had many explanations done for me. The easiest one that I could understand and that I can explain is literally it's a computer chip, right? It's a little chip. It's a little square. And it has components on it. And when they blast electric through it, it glows. That glow is the light. Now, of course, for the lighting that you're looking for, it probably has many chips, many diodes, right? So when the electric flows through it, boom, it glows, giving you whatever light you want. So here's some of the pros, right? So some of the pros is that there's no lamps to replace, right? There's absolutely nothing to change. See, an LED is it's what's called a light emitting diode, right? It's a chip, a diode, right? That has little components on it, and when electric is rushed through it, it emits a light. Obviously, on a typical fixture, there's many of those little guys in there. Electric rushes in, boom, there's light, right? So there's no lamps to replace. It's not like your typical light fixture where you go in and either have to take a lamp out or no, there's none of that. Once you get this fixture, it gets installed, nothing to change for the X amount of years, like I mentioned before, right? There's also no ballast to replace. Remember, I told you before, lamps and ballast, right? This thing has no lamps, no ballast, right? And then of course, the 100,000 plus hours of use. I mean, to me, that alone is 100, just listen to it, 100,000 hours. Depending on the type of facility that you have, That can be up to the 15, 16 years of use, right? And then a quarter of the wattage, right? A quarter. Again, imagine 20 watts, and now it's only 5, right? That's literally, I can't put it any more clearer than that, right? But again, how does this make me money, Jose? Okay, because you talked about it. Now I've been watching for X amount of minutes, and you know what? I wanted to know how I was gonna make money off my lighting, right? So this is where it's gonna go. Every building is gonna be different, right? Why is it gonna be different? Because every building probably has different amount of lights. Some may have fluorescent, some may have HID, some may have a combined amount, right? So the way we do this, and also just in case, you're still going to be using you're still going to be paying your utility costs, right? Because at the end of the day, if you do nothing today, you're still going to have fluorescent lights. You're still going to have HID lights. You're still going to have to service them, you know, according to whatever their lifespan is. And you're still going to be paying that higher electric bill for it, right? And when I say higher electric bill, the current bill you're paying now. Because realistically, going to LED, your wattage use is going to be cut, right? So you making the change will save you the money. Right now, there's nothing to save, right? Is your electric bill going to go up? Well, that's depending on kilowatts and all that other stuff, right? So to me, it's a no-brainer. Obviously, to you, it has to make sense, right? And the whole show, I've been trying to walk you through the steps of the current type of lighting you have, what perhaps LED is, and some of the pros, and then ultimately how all this is going to come together. Because at the end of the day, all this has to come together, one, to make sense, and two, to make you money, okay? So now I'm going to show you, okay? The ways you're gonna generate revenue is by the lower energy consumption. Okay, I just told you before that if you can go as short as a quarter of wattage use, right? If you had a 20 watt bulb and now you go to 5, that's a quarter of the use. So that's real money. That's real savings. Take that, multiply it times all the amount of lights you use. That's right there. That's money, okay? So that's lower energy consumption. Another one is it's going to virtually eliminate all expenses around your lighting. Now, remember, those lighting that I mentioned before is your lamp changing, your ballast changing, your possible lift rental, your electrical service tech charges. All of this virtually gone for 100,000 hours, right? Average 12 to 14 years. You got to kind of let that sink in for like 12 to 100,000 hours. I don't need to spend money on this. Yeah, you don't. Plus, I'm going to have lower energy consumption. Yeah. Now you're starting to see where you're generating money from your lighting, right? But see, it doesn't end there. It keeps going, right? So now you want to, you want to really take a look at this from a perspective of old technology, new technology. That's it. That's basically what we're doing. We're taking your old technology and replacing it with a new technology that's going to naturally do things, at a faster rate. It's going to equal more money in your pocket for it, right? So go around your facility, walk around, and look at something that's been upgraded in the recent years in order to make more money. Look at it, and you're going to see like, oh man, yeah, it's true. And now, wow, my lighting can actually do the same thing. Yes, your lighting can do the same thing. So now I'm gonna be very blunt. Obviously, there is going to be a decision you have to make. The decision that you have to make is, one, making the call, right? Like, hey, Jose, I want your team out here, and I want to get one of those audits. I want to talk to you. I want to hear more about this thing. I want to hear more in depth about this thing. And hey, if that's you, send a message, and we'll get on a call right away, right? But I wanted to tell you how much what this is going to cost and how you're going to generate money from it, right? Because again, you're going to make money off of this, right? So there's definitely going to be an up cost investment, right? You're going to have to make the decision of replacing your current lighting with this new LED lighting, right? But it's not an eyes wide shut deal, okay? This is a math deal, okay? 1 + 1 = 2, right? We have software. We input the information that we get from you. We input the information that we do from our audit. We input the information from the type of light fixture we want to partner you with, right? And then we do an overall calculation, okay? And that's how we create an ROI, okay? Your return on investment, okay? So now just follow along on here. Typically, on our projects, we're about a 2-year ROI, okay? 2 years. Now, there's been some really home run type jobs that we've gotten down to about a year and a half. A year and a half ROI. Can you imagine that? I know the client couldn't even imagine it himself either. He didn't even believe it. We had to actually pitch it 3 times because he didn't really believe it. And every single time it actually, what actually made him actually make the decision was that every single time, some of the costs actually went up, right? So maybe the light fixture went up a little bit. Other things perhaps went up. But what he actually was focusing on and what we were trying to show him, because remember, I'm telling you how you're going to make money, right? Is the amount of money he didn't make. See, we met at a specific time of the year. Then we met again, perhaps 6 months later. Then we met again a year later. And we showed them all 3 proposals all over again. And you know what he was able to see? The amount of money he didn't make by making that decision. See, that's clear. It's clear because it's on paper. There's definitely, I'm showing you exactly, and it's not based on some mumbo jumbo. It's based on your current electrical bill, your current use, what the lights are going to cost, what it's going to cost to get them installed. And that's it. There's no mumbo jumbo in here. It's very clear. So when we showed him this thing, he was amazed. He pulled the trigger right away, knocked the job out, right? Now, when I told you before that 2 years ROI, right? Because that's where I would like to be, 2 years, 2.5 years, somewhere around there, okay? And again, it depends on your building size. Some buildings might have a little higher ROI because they have smaller amount of fixtures, right? Honestly, it all depends on your facility, okay? And it all depends on the type of lighting you're looking to have, right? Sometimes what we recommend the client doesn't want. The client wants a different type of lighting, and it may have a different obviously cost to it, right? But the whole premise of this show was to show you how to make money, right? Off your of what you already have, right? Which is what you're already using as lighting in your building, right? So imagine that these lights, like I told you before, it's 100,000 hours, it's 12 to 14, maybe even 16 years, right? And it costs you 2.5 years. Let's say 3 years. It costs you 3 years to get a return on your investment. Okay, let's not go with the full 16. Let's go to 12. All right, let's go 12. 9 years. 9 years of you making money off that system. Day after day, week after week, month after month, year over year. Your money is compounding. And remember, when you say, what money is that, Jose? What money is that? Oh, remember the lower consumption use, the savings on actual maintenance costs? That's real, man. Those 2 things are real. And I can show you many examples if you'd like. Didn't want to bore you on this video with that stuff. But if you're interested in it, I have many examples to show you from there. But again, all these things are going to obviously depend on your building. And real quick, who doesn't like making money? Honestly, who does not like making money? And who doesn't like your own money making you more money? That's amazing. That's called the compound effect, right? So let your building make you money. Give it a chance. Give yourself a chance, right? So at the beginning of this, I told you that this was not a secret. Okay. I told you that this was not something I was the only one that knew. This is something that's out there. Okay. We too are installers. Okay. We work with big time vendors as well, like big time lighting vendors, that they're the ones that sell these jobs. And we simply are the installers. And I see what they do. I see how they handle their clients. And it's like everything else. This is a process, right? It works. If not, it wouldn't be happening at this level. But the amazing part that there is still so much more, because I know you out there. I know that your building doesn't have this, and I know that you're not making money off of this. This is why I'm talking to you. This is why this is why I created this. I created this for you. Okay? I created this for you so you can give yourself a chance to make some money off your building. Listen, during these times, everybody needs to figure out how to generate money with what they got. Okay? They're lean times. Okay? They're times to figure out how to make more with what you got. And why not with something you already use, your lighting? All right. So the other part of this thing is that most states offer what's called an energy program, right? And this is the part that a lot of people. I'm going to speak about New Jersey, right? Because I'm in New Jersey, so it's no secret. New Jersey has what's called an energy program, right? They literally have funds set aside for energy savings of some sorts, right? Lighting, air conditioning, heating, things like that. I think windows and other stuff, right? Obviously, we're talking about lighting, so I'm going to focus on lighting, right? So, again, I'm saying New Jersey, but New Jersey is not the only one. I know other states have it as well. So feel free to to send us a message or something if you want to know, like, oh, does my state have it? And just send us a message, and we'll send you some of the info, okay? Because every state, every local town has something like this, all right? But in New Jersey, they literally pay you. They pay you. They give you a certain amount of money for you replacing your lighting, from you taking it from whatever this old technology is to the new LED technology, right? Now you're gonna say, well, why are they doing this? Sounds kind of crazy. Why would they pay you for it? Well, again, the reason they're paying you is because you're lowering wattage use. If you were using, let's just say, once again, the 20 watt, right? I was using the 20 before. You're using 20 watts and now you're only going to use 5 watts. You lowered use, right? Now they're going to say, yeah, but the electric company is not going to charge us as much money anymore. Why would they give us money? Well, here's the other part of it. That electrical company, that utility, they have other programs they got running with the government, right? They got to generate electricity, and that costs money. So by lowering your consumption, and obviously we're talking about you as a one-on-one, but you also know that there's probably a lot of us out here. And if we all lower that little bit, it equals a lot. And that's what the states are trying to do. The states are trying to lower that consumption, okay? Trying to lower that consumption, and this money is being subsidized for it because it's going to be spent one way or the other. So instead of spending it one way, let's give it back to the community and see if they will upgrade their lighting. And you know what? Obviously, they'll create some work as well. And what I'm trying to tell you is you're going to make money off of this. So take the idea I told you before. The job costs you this much. Your local government is going to give you this much money towards the lighting. That's how we get to that 2-year ROI. That's how we get you 10 years of making money off your lighting. That's how it is. That's how it's done. So some jobs are going to make more money than others. So obviously, some jobs are definitely going to get more money from the state than others. But listen, you won't know unless you try. Okay, you have to find out. And like I've been telling you the whole time, you're going to have to pay regardless whether you do something or not. See, you're going to have to pay to replace your lamps. You're going to have to pay to replace your ballast. You're going to have to pay your current utility bill. Regardless. Why not give this a chance and see what you can actually generate off of this? So, you know, I wanted to share with this. I wanted to share this whole process with you guys at a very broad level, right? I didn't want to go too deep into too many things, right? I took you through fluorescent, I took you through HID, I walked you through LED a little bit, and I wanted to just show you the possibilities, right? See, sometimes we don't see these possibilities. We block ourselves from them, right? Or we don't even take the chance to even listen to them or even pay attention to them, right? But think about technology. Everyone rushes out to get the new iPhone, the new Samsung, the new Google phone. You may even have the brand new one in your pocket, right? Does that thing make you money? And okay, it can, depending on what you do on your phone, if you're trading or you're making deals. Yeah, of course it makes you money. So it's even more of a premise. If that thing makes you money, and it makes you money because it's so fast or because it's so reliable or whatever the case may be, why wouldn't you want to outfit your building with the same style, with that same technology, right? Why wouldn't you want to give your building that same opportunity that perhaps your phone is giving you, right? And remember, it's going to make you money. It's going to make you money. So, you know, if any of this stuff is interesting to you, I want you to send us a message. You know, I want you to message me. I want you to, leave me whatever your comment is. Just say, hey, listen, Jose, I want to hear more about this. Okay. I have this building, or I have that building, or, can we discuss a little bit more? Send it my way. And because me and my team, we're ready to send you the info that you're looking for. We're ready to set up, set up assessments. Okay. We can go to your site. We can walk your site. We can hear what you got. We can see what you need. Listen, we're here. We're here ready to help you. Okay. We're here ready to start making you money. All right. And in case you're not in the New Jersey area, I don't want you to feel discouraged. Like, hey, oh man, Jose, but I don't live in New Jersey. I live in another state. Send me the stuff anyway. Send it to me. Why? I have vendors, and I have other vendors that we work with throughout the country. So don't think that, oh, no, it's only New Jersey. No, send it. Listen, I told you what this show was going to be about, showing you how to make money from lighting. Okay? So let me do that. Now I walked you through this thing. Let me help you the next step. Okay? So send all your questions, send the information that you want. If you want to set up a meeting, even better, just put your stuff down. We'll be in contact right away. All right? Like I say, time is money. And now you know that lighting is money as well. All right? As always, thank you for listening. If any of this information you found valuable, hit that subscribe button, as well as remember to share with anyone who you think may need it. Feel free to comment below, and as always, catch you on the next one.